Tonight we have two presenters. We're very grateful that we have Nassau County PO Officer Yolanda Turner, who will begin our presentation for this evening.
Hi guys, how are you? It's all about vaping. And they don't call it vaping or anything like that. We know what this is, right? Does everybody know exactly what vaping is? It's the act of inhaling vapor produced by any kind of e-cigarette or personal vaporizer. What these kids do with these vaporizers and these vaping tools, it blows my mind. As I was telling the young lady in the back, that they can do it now right in front of you and you won't even know it. Isn't that something? You know, I mean, it's almost incredible how, you remember you used to make it and used to have like all this puff, you see this gigantic puff come out of the car in front of you and you're like, I can't see, you know? Now, nothing. There's absolutely nothing and it's scary. So, it's gotta be careful. Why should we be concerned? We should be concerned because when they buy these little cartridges, they don't know exactly how much nicotine is in that particular cartridge. Yeah, it may say it on the label, but you know what? In actuality, they don't know what's in it. So one of those little cartridges equals like a pack of cigarettes. And I said, excuse me? Okay, so, and who am I getting most of my information from, unfortunately? The kids. Because what we know, we don't know anything. I know as much as you do. Well, guess what? I got all this stuff from the kids. So it's kind of scary. And I just got updated up until this afternoon, so, yeah.
What equals a pack of cigarettes?
One little cartridge.
And how long does a cartridge last?
It depends on the kid.
It depends how much you draw.
How much you draw on it. Yeah, it depends. It depends on the kid. Yeah. I mean, one kid told me today.
Last them a week, maybe.
It can last them a week, it can last them a month. It depends on how much they like that initial rush that they get from it, which I don't understand, but okay. So they're going up by, they're doing it more in the middle schools and the high schools. And like I said, up until this afternoon, I'm hearing elementary school. Now, reason why it's elementary school, that sounds a little scary, but the reason why we're including now elementary schools is because these kids, when they're in elementary school, they start at 5th grade. Like they kind of hang on to them there. So they kind of, when you're in 5th grade, I remember when my daughter was in 5th grade, she wanted me to buy her some shorts from Abercrombie that were like this big. And I told her, either you get the long ones or we get out of here. All right, that's when they start, quote unquote, feeling themselves. Like, oh, I'm going to go to the middle school next year. And, you know, my older brother or sister, they're doing the vape or the Juul. And maybe I can get away with it. Guess what? You guys are going to stop all that nonsense, right? So, what are they vaping? Now, it's the nicotine. Oh, it's the TV screen. It won't work. But the nicotine, the marijuana or hash oil. Okay, most of the kids, thankfully, if there's an upside to all this, they just like the flavor. If that's it, maybe you can get lucky if your kid's room smells a little sweet. You know, it's not from anything else. They're not eating bananas. They're probably inhaling it. Okay. And sadly, this part right here, no clue. That's the sad part. They have no clue. So, this is how you break it down. The mouthpiece, the contact connector, the sensor. There's like a whole bunch of stuff in here. This is what I was talking to you about before, the little cartridge. It goes right into here. This looks like a computer thing, like this. Like you just plug it into. Flash drive. Thank you, flash drive. Like, really? A flash drive? All right. So, as a matter of fact, a friend of mine had it. We went girls' day out. I was like, what is that? She's like, oh, I'm trying to quit. I'm like, oh, girl, please. But this is the older one right here. They've upgraded it to this. All right, so now this is what started from the good old days, the cigarettes, right? Where it's like you know what you're getting, right? But now the next one was the Enjoy. And then you had this, the Grape Apple, the Hookah, and all that. And, you know, these things, they look like something harmless to you guys now, because everything has this and that. Okay? So if you see this and that hanging out of the plug in your dining room, you're going to say, hey, it's normal. It's probably for a cell phone, because you're not thinking, you're not looking. But guess what? It's attached to this thing. You know, so you got to be careful.
Oh, no.
Yeah, these are from the old ones. They explode. All right, the old ones explode. The new ones, they make them so the way they don't do this anymore. So they make it so it's completely odorless. You cannot even tell. I mean, these teachers are like, I don't know, when somebody tells on another one because they get upset, they're like, the teacher's like, are you kidding me? They're doing it right in front of me, and then that person's in trouble. There's another one. All right, so it's not cool, you know, but no, it's ugly, right? Let's get rid of it. All right, what's popcorn lung? All right, if you use this stuff over and over again, okay, you guys will be able to figure out if your kid is using. They start to have like a raspy voice, and if you're sitting kind of close to them, they're really, really doing it. You can kind of hear them. It's called popcorn lung. Okay, it started out with the buttery taste. That's where the popcorn comes from, but it started out as a buttery taste that they had, and they kind of liked that. And then when they start using it over and over again and over and over again, it sounds like, anybody heard anybody had congestive heart failure and what it sounds like, that crackle? Yep. Yeah, okay. That's what these kids sound like. It's like, whoa, are you kidding me with this? You know, so the flavor, they want to inhale the flavor, they think it's cool and blah, 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 you know, that's kind of stuff, but they're going to start this. And what I think, this is me and myself, what I think that we're going to start to see kids with emphysema. Mm-hmm. I mean, because it's worse than the nicotine. Yeah. So, you know, you got somebody who's like, you know, 70 in their 80s and they walk around with emphysema. You know, you're going to see a kid who's like 25 with emphysema. You know, and these kids, they don't realize the dangers that they put it on the inside of their body. You know, so when they have it on the inside of their body, it's supposed to out. Okay, it used to be. Remember, it used to look like this. It doesn't look like that anymore. Not at all. So this is what they're putting in there. These little juices, and you know, the liquid juice, the e-juice. Sometimes there's some allergies to them, but it's not really going to happen. It can irritate the eyes, but they'd like to really, really inhale this stuff. This is the harmless vapor. And here's some of the things that are in here. All right. The yellow stuff, the things in yellow. You guys don't know if you want to take a picture of that. This stuff in yellow is are harmful by the FDA, but they can still put them inside these things. So you don't want to walk around inhaling this stuff. You got to tell your kids, look, this is what's in here. You know? Well, I think formaldehyde is up here, right? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, but, yeah. That's for the. Hello, you want to inhale your cell phone battery? I mean, come on, let's stop with this. You know? I mean, they think they're cool. All right. So this is the strength guide. I think this is pretty important, this slide. It can increase the nicotine addiction. Some people say, it started off as a good thing, all right? It started off as, I'm using this to cut down on the nicotine, but some people realize, hey, you know what? I can make more money if I pump more nicotine into it. So, and it only applies to the teens, because the adults know that, you know, like, I'm gonna get emphysema, I'm gonna be bad, I don't wanna start slumping a O2 tank. So, you know, that's, you know, adults know not to inhale this stuff. But these kids think, oh wow, it's better than a pack of cigarettes. The best part now is, I may not get caught. That's the part that's selling these kids now. So If you buy one of these little things in here, you don't know how much you're gonna get in there. You know, I mean, it's I don't know. I don't know. All right, there's nicotine poisoning. Of course, when it's in its liquid state, it's going to be more potent than just the cigarette with the tobacco, just, heating it up, like a regular cigarette. And it travels through the lungs quicker. And it's a smoother transition. And sometimes it kind of hangs on to the lungs because of the water vapor that's in there. So it's kind of sad, but, what can you do? So here's some of the symptoms. This is for like when your kids first start doing it. Some of the kids are pretty much professional, and they may not exhibit some of these symptoms now. The nausea, yes, the vomiting in the beginning. Bless you. It doesn't help if you have some girls, because the loss of appetite, sometimes we don't want to eat because we gain 5 pounds. The weird one is hearing and vision changes. I don't understand that one, but I guess, it can affect you in some sort of way. Gas, look out. Increased blood pressure and stuff like that. So, and the dehydration. So, but the other one that's now creeping up now is these kids are telling me that the voice change. Yeah, it's not because of a cold, or it's definitely the voice change. That's the big one. All right, they putting dry herbal marijuana in there. All right, they're doing all this stuff. I can't believe that they're doing this stuff. I wasn't even thinking about this stuff when I was their age, but okay, time to move on. Liquid THC, it's applied the same way. It's gone in the same way as the flavored ones. So I asked one kid, I said, well, how did they get it in there? And they said, nah, it's too much work. It's easier to go and try and find somebody that has that than they make it difficult that you can't reuse the cartridge. So at least you have that, but hopefully it's harder for them to catch to get the marijuana one. Okay, there's a way of intensifying it in case you don't have enough nicotine. They made it better. All right, so you could put it on like there's like a section in there. It's like one of the jewels they have. I believe it's cotton they have in there. You want to saturate that cotton as much as you can. I don't remember which jewels. Saturate that much as they can, and then inhale it, which is crazy. But they love. I said, what's the word I'm looking for? Why do you do this? Like, what's the high that you get? And it's the initial. They say it's the initial like head rush. Like one kid described it as a brain freeze. The other kid described it as when you're like spinning around and around and around in circles, and you're hanging on to that feeling. I'm like, that's not a good feeling to me, But that's what they like. I said, okay.
Is this with the feeling they would get with the nicotine to follow?
Yeah,
Yes.
That's what they said. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I never smoked, so I have no idea. Dabbing. This used to be a harmless word, right? Who has a creme brulee? Who makes creme brulee at home? Make sure, make sure lock that puppy away.
Everything's in the safe.
Okay, all right, because that's what they're using. They're using the creme brulee torches, okay? Sick.
Butane. It's a cartridge of
I have
butane.
some slides that'll show you all of them.
The way they do it.
Sick.
They do it.
Mm-hmm.
Who would guess?
Yeah. You got,
They also use a curling
Yeah.
yeah, flat iron curl. It's
There's
sick.
hundreds of videos on YouTube
Hundreds.
that
This is what I'm showing you here is nearly just scratching the surface, and I bet you if I come back next week, I'll have something else from these kids. I tell you. So what they do is they extract it from the cannabis plant, and they light it up just like this, and then they break it down into this, and then they put it back into that. I think it's too much work, but this is what they do. And here's something that I thought was, really? Alcohol. They're putting the alcohol in there. I was like, what? Why? Yes. So how do they get them? Good old internet. You can get anything from the internet. All you have to do is say you're, a particular age, and they send it to you. And the thing about it is that these kids, they have access to debit cards, credit cards, and things of that nature. They can send it to another friend's house. You see the thing later. I'm sorry?
My daughter received a package for somebody.
Yeah, see? It happens all the time. It happens all the time. So, and that's the unfortunate thing, I mean, yeah, these days, the kids have the phones, the kids have this, the kids have that. The parents, yes, we're busy. We got a lot of stuff going on, we work long hours. We got, but you gotta, A, check your statements. B, make sure that they don't have anything in there. Do a sweep. They're out school. It's your room. It's not their room. Do a sweep. Say, let me have your computer. Let me have that. I don't know if you guys know about this on the iPhones. Some of your kids have the iPhones, you can look at their last search. They might know how to look at their last search on the phone. If they exit out and they say, here you go. There's a plus button on the phone, like in the top. You press and hold that, and you'll see everything that they looked at. They think that you won't know that. You're welcome. Yeah. You know how it looks like? It looks like this. When you open up a new page, you press this and you open up a new page, and there's that plus button at the top. Just press and hold. It'll show you the last few things that they looked at. Yeah. So, but that's what on the iPhone, I have a Droid for work. I use my iPhone, but I don't know how you do it on a Droid, but it helps because they think, oh, they won't know about that. Now you do. Okay. Again, they look like pens. They look like highlighters. They look like anything. Some of them even look like credit cards now. Oh, boy. Here we go. Look at that. That looks like a pen, right? Sick. E-cigarette. Mm-hmm. Colorful. Look at that. Isn't that pretty?
Lipstick.
Looks like lipstick. It looks like a mascara wand. You ready for this one? It's my favorite. Look at that. It looks like a piccolo. Right? This looks like a piccolo, right? Yeah. I mean,
Oh, that looks like it's for kids.
They market.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying, like elementary school. They making it so that way if the kids get, if the parents happen to see it, parents like, oh, it's Pez, and we walk away, right? We walk away. We think it's Pez, right? You don't have time to look at that really. Or you'll think it's one of those pens, like the dollar bins at Michael's, You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, that's what you think it is. So it's not good. So look, it's like, again, if you see something that looks like that, it's not a regular phone charger, investigate, okay? They may hide it from you, or they may stupidly leave it plugged in their room behind the bed or something like that. So kind of just look to see, all right? Here's the one that kind of looks like a credit card. They put the liquid in here, and this is the mouthpiece here. So you think it's a regular cell phone charger, So, and as early as today, they showed me one that was looking like a credit card, but I didn't have time to put that in here. Okay, again, the signs to look for: the red eyes, lethargic, craving of snacks, confusion, anxiety, focus, lack of focus. I don't know. I still have lack of focus, but I don't know. Usually talkative, unusually talkative. That's me almost every day. Dropping studies, activities. Those are the serious ones. Change of friends and secretiveness. Them trying to hide stuff from you all the time. Try not to let them, if you have a good rapport with your kids, keep it. It's going to be hard to do, but, try and keep it. You got to, unfortunately, you can't get mad at them for everything. So let's just say you're a person that tells them, oh, I need you to make your bed every day. If you don't make your bed every day, it's going to be, smoke in the city when you come back. Well, you kind of got to let that go. Make sure that they go to school. And then when you see something like this, the punishment will fit the crime. Because you can't Thank you. You're nodding your head. So if you, get them in trouble for making their bed, and I'm like, no, I can't talk to. Just try and be approachable as much as you can. That's really the end game out of all this. Just try and be approachable to your kids, So don't, just talk to them about vaping. They don't want to talk to you. Well, you talk to them. Say, hey, you know what? I know this thing is out there. I know it's kind of cool to kind of try and do this kind of stuff, but you know what? It's not good for you because we don't know what's in it. Of course, you're not going to tell them, yeah, if you want to smoke a cigarette, I'll go out and get cigarettes. But you know what? Let's just, try not to do that. And yeah, your friends think it's cool and whatnot. Tell them about the popcorn lung. Tell them it's going to sound like, you're going to get congestive heart failure. You can get congestive heart failure from that. Tell them about the emphysema. Tell them about the dangers. And a few more times a few more years, a few more years from now, we're going to have bigger cases of the, congestive heart failure and the emphysema with this stuff, So you may not see any of that stuff now, but maybe like 2 to 5 years from now, they're going to see it. So just try and make sure that their friends don't do it, Try to keep good friends and stuff like that, So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. All right, good. Thank you.
So I'm going to just start where P.O. Turner sort of left off and give a little bit more in-depth information about the oils and the waxes, because we're seeing an increased use of that in our population. There's an increase to the ER and hospital admission, and the symptoms have been psychotic breaks, psychosis, just all-out panic attacks. They've been on ICUs they've ended up in, and that's because of 2 things. The high dose of the THC, it's a much, much higher dose than if you smoke like a joint or what they call a blunt. And the delivery system is a very precise, it's a very accurate delivery system. They say it's like what cocaine is to crack, vaping is to marijuana use. If you're smoking a joint, vaping is just 100 times. And it's direct. When it hits the lungs, that vape, it's right to the bloodstream. Okay? And when you vape, you tend to vape more because if you smoke, it's harsh. You can only take in so much. It hurts your throat. Vaping, you don't even feel it go down. So they'll take more and more. And what they're taking in is a much higher dose, much higher milligrams of THC than what the traditional marijuana joint would be. So, for that reason, it's more addictive. Everybody said in the past, oh, marijuana THC is not addictive. Well, now it actually is becoming physically addictive. And there are sometimes severe withdrawal symptoms. We've had kids go into seizures. It's not just the marijuana wax, but it's also the other chemicals which P.O. Turner had mentioned. Those chemicals, if you noticed, if you took the time to look at the list, a lot of them are heavy metals. And we all know what heavy metal does to the nervous system, right? We know what lead does, right? Because it's advertised, lead paint. You hear a lot about that, lead poison. But there was chromium on that list. That's in batteries. There was all of these heavy metals, okay? That's playing on the child's nervous system. And there's been reports that on the brain, it permanently changes the brain. Not just temporarily, but if chronic users, it permanently changes the brain. So let me see what these, I don't have the fancy, I don't have the clicker. I don't have that fancy clicker.
Use my clicker.
That's okay. Okay, so this is what they look like. Again, some of this may be repetitive, but I think it's important. THC wax looks like a honey. So if you ever see this at home in any of these kind of consistencies, this is the cartridge, and I happen to actually have some because a parent was kind enough to give me some that she confiscated from her kid. And I also have a jewel I can pass around if you want to look at it. Just so you guys get an up-close sense of what these are, and you can really just look at them. These cartridges have THC oil in them. That's what they are. The dealers just buy these by the case full, and I'll get into how they produce the oil, and then they fill these up. This is a jewel. as you can see, flash drive. Take a good close look at it, because you may have seen them. Oh, thanks. Forward. Oh, thank you so much. Okay. There isn't a rental fee on this system. Okay, so that's what that looks like. And okay, well, how are they made? This is the oil extract. Look at this, a flat iron. So they take a flat iron, they take not the dry weed, but it's still wet, right? It's the plant. And with the hot compression of the flat iron, they dry out the plant, that crumbles away. The sticky substance that's left on the irons is the oil. They scrape that off, and then they put it into these pods that I'm passing around. So if you happen to see a flat iron, you may want to look closely, because all the kids are using those, right? Here's the wax butane. These are the things that you'll find if they're actually doing the butane. So they use a lead pipe, they pack it with the plant, and they shoot the butane, just like P.O. Turner said. The one with the creme brulee, that's what they do here. And then what happens is, of course, the plant disintegrates, and what's left on the side, because it's a much hotter process chemically, it turns more to a wax here, whereas this is not a lower temperature, so it turns just to an oil. You get to know a little chemistry, I guess. And so these are the typical things that they'll use. There's the butane right there, the pipe. This is just fancy bongs. They're becoming it's a whole culture. And, they'll collect these really fancy things. They're marketing to younger kids, but then of course there's a more sophisticated crowd out there that's also seeking these oils. These are just edibles here, which are another, they use the oil to make the edibles, but that's not something I'm really covering here. The dangers of it all: cognitive decline. They hallucinate. At these levels of THC, they're hallucinating. And that's why sometimes they have psychotic breaks. I had a recent case, and I'm not exaggerating this. He came in scared to death. He had just smoked wax. He really thought he was losing his mind. I had this big burly 19-year-old crawled up in a ball on my floor crying because he really thought he had developed this horrific mental illness that included psychosis. And it turned out that it was from wax. And it took a whole week for him to get out of that. And what I'm hearing from the medical field is that a lot of the antipsychotic medications are not even working when a child has this type of psychosis from a concentrated THC wax. That's pretty scary. So, okay, so the cannabis holiday. Okay, so everybody's heard of 420, right? That's the old cannabis holiday. So this is the new one. So it's called 710, which is coming up, July 10th. And why they do that, if you turn it over on your phone, it spells OIL, oil. So then they celebrate the use of oil. Okay, this is the new thing. So if you happen to see that on a kid's phone, just another clue is the stoner term used to describe and celebrate concentrates. All of them, the wax as well, but it spells oil. Similar to 420, so they get out and they enjoy concentrates. This is a place they go to shop if you want to take a closer look at all the devices that they're buying. Nowadays, every support group and institution is claiming a calendar date of their own, So it's just another piece of information that parents need to know, need to look for. 710, that's the new one. Here's some more of the devices, what the new nicotine looks like. Okay, so this is the Juul, which I passed around you guys looking at. Okay. Oh, Walmart, real cheap. So some of the kids, just so you know, because it was mentioned that anybody could order these, but some of the kids are more sophisticated than others. So what happens is that one or two kids in the school who will order the case, and then they go to school with their stuff, and they're the ones that are selling it. So if you hear a kid say they bought it from another kid, very common. Because for the younger kids, especially the middle school kids, they're not going to be so sharp as to know, oh, I could just click, I'm over 21 and I can order this, and then I'm going to go back to school and sell them. But it's the older kids, who know to do that, and then they come in and they'll sell it for double, triple the price, so they make a little profit on it. And then they will also sell the pods as well. So this is what they're making. It's just a, kind of to review. There's the battery, which is the energy source, and that's the one you recharge on the computer. This is where you're getting the heating element, it heats it up. That's the pod for the liquid, or that is the liquid rather, that you put in the pod. This is the cartridge that holds it, and heating the liquid inside the device creates the aerosol. So it's a chemical reaction that creates the aerosol, and that chemical reaction in itself creates chemical byproducts, some of which we listed before. So that's, Again, here's the popcorn lung. It's not a joke, it really happens. And it's very common, and it's very dangerous. It attacks the very little bronchi, and it blows up, and then
Irreversible.
It can be irreversible, and it's absolutely, restricts your breathing. And you get the crackly sound. And the third-hand smoke, interesting, they're finding now, because it's such a new phenomena that they're just doing studies now. They're actually finding that the vape that's out, that they breathe out, actually they're comparing to secondhand smoke, because that vape also has some of those heavy metals in it. So anyone who breathes that in, who's in the vicinity, is also getting that stuff. They're exposed to it. This is all very new studies because it's brand new. So who knows what else we'll find. Again, some other eyes, sneezing, throat, the drip, the changing of the voice, those are signs. So again, the advertising. There are restrictions around advertising for liquor. There's restrictions around advertising for cigarettes, because those are controlled substances and there's an age on it, 21. These kids are advertising to each other. They're under our radar. They're on YouTube, they're on Snapchat. Oh, look what I found, cool, look at this. This is how it gets around. That's why we don't get the information. It is not in the mainstream. They're advertising and sharing this information with each other. It's important to know that, and that's why it's important to have access to their phones and their devices, because that's where you're going to find it. And this is just some, other stats about the advertising, but really they advertise to themselves, each other. Oh, that's it? That's the conclusion? Okay, so that's it. I have a small one, or a short one. But what I wanted to say really is that we really are seeing more incidents of the oil and the wax. And even I had a client who is a former dealer, and he shared a lot of information with me because they love to talk about their business. And he said the dealers on the street are actually changing their business plans because there is a higher demand for the concentrates for all of the reasons discussed. These kids smoke in the bathroom, they smoke in the classroom, or vape, I should say vape. They vape everywhere because we don't know. We can't smell it. They're vaping upstairs in their rooms right now. No joke, okay? So there's a high demand for the oils and the wax. So the dealers are changing their business model. They're investing in some of these devices where you convert it to oil and wax, and they're putting it in the pods. They're making more money distributing it that way. It's very addicting, and the cravings and the urges are much stronger. If they're passing a joint around, yeah, I'm good, No, this, you gotta have it. So, something we really need to be aware of and look out for anything that looks suspicious. Any of these kind of images, just remember them. Okay, yeah.
If you suspect your child is vaping, what do you recommend you do?
We'll definitely get them assessed, because some parents are under the illusion that it's safer also, right? Because we were sold We were sold that too. The vape was designed to help people get off of smoking cigarettes. Adult trying to get off cigarettes and vaping, not a bad idea. It certainly isn't as harmful as cigarettes, and if it's a transition to quitting, okay, that was great, right? So some parents think, well, vaping, how bad can vape be? Okay, so a lot of parents, they're okay with their kids vaping. So you have to remember that part. It's not just oils, it's nicotine, it's highly concentrated nicotine, therefore it is much, much more harmful. And then the other piece is, don't always assume it's nicotine, because you can't smell it. If you see a vape, be suspicious and further investigate to make sure that it's not an illegal substance,
So neither one will give off a telltale odor?
No.
No.
Oh, it doesn't?
We have kids, I could tell you, I get all my information from the kids also. We have kids in the classroom, they like, they'll challenge each other, say, pull it out and vape. As soon as the teacher turns her back, and they will come vaping. Not right in the classroom, in the hall. Talk to your school districts about it. And the schools don't know what to do about it. That's the problem, because it's not illegal. The devices are not illegal. And it's not like smoking cigarettes. Cigarettes, you could smell, you catch the kid, This, they don't know. The teachers really don't know what to do with it. They really, really, truly don't, from what I understand. And it is epidemic level. It really is. Ask any school district if they're honest with you. If they're honest with you. So, yeah. Okay, so any other questions or?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, please, guys, be real careful.